Is this camera on?
Yeah, we're live.
Oh, no, I ain't seen nothing. I ain't seen nothing. Matter of fact, I'm blind in my left eye and 43% blind in my right eye. I don't see much of nothing. Matter of fact, I can't even see you, sir.
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Millennial Smark, and I'm giving you the slop, the whole slop, and nothing but the slop. Timestamps are down in the description box below if you want to get directly into the review. Otherwise, fuck with me for a moment. So, I got this link down in the description box if you want to like watch the video, obviously after my review. Fuck you. It's this channel called Flagrant, and I'm not even sure if I'm saying their name right, but who cares, because again, the link is down in the description box below. But like, it's these bunch of guys, right, and the host, who looks like fucking Simon Gotch. I can't really explain who he is. Actually, you know, I do remember vaguely seeing him when watching a video from this hip-hop channel called Luesta, and I remember him focusing on him talking about the Kendrick Lamar beef, because I guess he somehow inserted his way inside the Kendrick Lamar beef, but outside of that, no clue who this guy is, right? He's interviewing Triple H, and in my opinion, the interview in itself, as far as the guys doing the interview, is fucking horrible. They keep interrupting Triple H every 10 seconds. They won't let Triple H get his thought out accurately, or let him breathe a little bit to get his point across. It's like Pat McAfee's interview, but somehow it's like 10 times worse, because these guys are just uber douchebags. But for the time of when Triple H gets the opportunity to actually coherently explain himself without these assholes interrupting him, I think from the perspective of Triple H doing it, this is one of his best interviews ever. He's cursing, he's being more of himself, he's loose. It's just, you never see Triple H this candid before, in my opinion at least, right? Typically you see Triple H do these interviews, or you see him at the press conferences. He's more professional, you know, he's, you know, a little bit more reclusive in a way, if that makes any sense. With this right here, he's Paul Levesque. It's not even Triple H, it's just Paul, right? And it's really cool to see. And he's explaining a couple of things as far as how he made it into the business, and you know, his career, and how him and Stephanie got together and all that shit, and how his mind works as far as how he made it into the business and helped Vince, and how it is, you know, post the Vince years when it's him in the top spot, being able to run creative and run WWE and all that kind of stuff. There's 2 points in the entire video, and I very much encourage you to watch it. Again, it's going to be kind of annoying because Simon Gotch won't shut the fuck up, but when Triple H is talking in himself, there's 2 points that he actually made that made me sit back and actually, you know, think a little bit. Well, really one point. It was another point that was really fucking annoying that everybody is talking about, and that's their takeaway from the actual interview in itself. Triple H, and I want to get to the actual part that I feel like needs a little bit more clarity, because, you know, when you're younger and you hear the, oh, Triple H slept to the top kind of shit, and, you know, he only got the spot because he married Stephanie, no matter how stupid that is, because Triple H was the top guy before Stephanie was even an on-screen character. But ignore that for a second. There was a couple of points that Triple H made that I never really thought about until you're like actually older and you like recognize like, oh shit, yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Triple H was talking about how he never really understood the Stephanie argument, just from the like, you look at it from his eyes. It's like, why would I go out of my way to fuck with the boss's daughter, knowing how maniacal Vince is? There's a good shot if I fuck up this whole relationship with Stephanie, or if I break her heart or do something like that, my career is absolutely fucked. And you know how Vince McMahon is, where there's like no rhyme or reasoning in regards to how crazy he can be. So even if it doesn't necessarily affect the business, Vince McMahon would go out of his way to fuck your career if it meant that you disrespected his wishes and then you fucked up. Because as you guys know, Vince told Triple H, he was okay with it at first, but eventually he told him, nah, I kind of can't have you seeing Stephanie because it's making me look bad in front of the boys. You know, it looks like, you know, nepotism to a certain degree. And he never talked about this, but I know Shane McMahon, he didn't like Triple H at first, fucking with Stephanie. He didn't like Triple H at all at that time, fucking with. I'm not even sure if Shane probably likes Triple H nowadays. But Triple H did fuck with Stephanie, even when Vince told him not to. And his whole mind frame was, why would I put my career on the line like that? Like, if you guys really think that my perspective was I need to fuck with the boss's daughter to get to the top, one, I was already at the top, and two, why would I risk throwing it all away? I was actually in love with Stephanie, which that's not hard to believe because Stephanie, she's still fine as fuck nowadays, but Stephanie back then was bad as fuck also. It's like, it's not really hard to see why Triple H would want to fuck with a good looking girl like Stephanie, right? Whether she's Vince's daughter or not. But there was another point. And this is the takeaway from this, unfortunately, because, you know, we live in these political times where Triple H made reference to his earlier career, right? When he he was trying to get a fill for WWE. Obviously, you guys know the story with him about the win the King of the Ring, and then he got it taken away because of the curtain call stuff, and you know, all these guys don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and they're using wrestling terminologies and they're not using it correctly, and it's really fucking frustrating. I hate that shit. I fucking hate that shit when normies try to talk wrestling. They try to use wrestling lingo, but they don't know how to fucking use it. It's some of the cringiest shit in the world. But Triple H eventually got to a point where he was talking about the consequences. And one of the consequences, which I never even knew, was that he was in a match with a certain wrestler, and he was complaining because he was like, I can take all the shit that you're gonna give me, Vince, but you gotta give me room to, like, you know, make a opening for myself to show that I can get myself back into a prime position. You have to give me an opportunity. And Vince was cool with that. He told him, okay, yeah, it's gonna be an opportunity, but it got to a point when Triple H worked this match, he was like, dude, like, you're just blatantly fucking me over now. And the person in question was Ahmed Johnson. He didn't like the fact that he gave him a shitty referee, because as you guys know, we know this, these marks get doing the interview who won't shut the fuck up. They kept pretending as if they knew. They don't know shit. But we know, obviously, that the wrestlers and the referees, you know, they relay messages between each other in order to communicate and call spots in the match, right? He didn't like the fact that the referee didn't know what he was doing, and then you gave him a shitty wrestler like Ahmed Johnson to work with. And it is mind-blowing how many times we have to take things to race when it's just obviously not true. Like, it gets to a certain point sometime where it's like, dude, quit it. Fucking quit it. And Twitter, and some comments on this video also, but mainly Twitter, was like, oh, Triple H once again going out of his way to bury a black guy. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? You all know Ahmed Johnson is the shits. You know Ahmed Johnson has a reputation for being horrible. Ron Simmons, a black man. Booker T, a black man, have outright put him on blast as being one of the worst wrestlers they have ever gotten to the ring with. This is not something that is like fucking new. Like, we know the history of Ahmed Johnson. These marks probably don't, but we know this as a wrestling community, that Ahmed Johnson is one of the worst wrestlers of all time. Yet they made it about race again. They're like, oh, Triple H burying a black guy. I say, dude, how do you win with these psychopaths is beyond me. They actually took it to race when fucking with Ahmed Johnson. It is wild. But those were the two takeaways for me that were like things that I weren't too aware of. Or at least with the Stephanie stuff. Obviously, I'm aware of that. But like, looking at it from Triple H's perspective, I never really looked at it through those lenses. Like, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Why would he put his career on the line like that as a top guy, knowing how Vince would react if he just completely disrespected his wishes? It's like, yeah, and also, Stephanie's fucking fine as shit. Why the hell would that be such a, you know, oh, you know, I did it the bus. It's fucking Stephanie McMahon. Have you seen her in 2001, in 2000? Like, she was bad as shit. But I recommend checking out the entire video. Those are just 2 points that just came to mind when watching it. Again, if you can get around the fact that these guys are just horrible interviewers, it's a great interview, and again, highly recommend it. But with that being said, let's get into the Dynamite review. Alright, so coming up next, we got Hangman Page and the wild card. I'm actually kind of curious as to who it's going to be. I know it's going to most likely be a letdown, but I'm curious nonetheless. It might be a breaking news story if it happens to be the right person. But nevertheless, though, let's talk about Sasha Banks and Ember Moon, right? Athena versus Mercedes. I can tell this is going to be one of those matches that's going to have a revisionist history type of spin on it as years start to go on. I know people are going to, like, for some reason, glaze this match. I will hope not. This was not good at all. Like, I don't... And mind you, I went in this with a very open mind because I like Ember Moon. I like her style. I like how she works. I'm a big fan of her feud with Asuka back in the days in NXT. And I was thinking to myself, okay, she's going to go out there. Her and Mercedes are going to have a killer match. I was kind of hoping more so that they were going to maybe I'm just a dreamer, but I was kind of hoping, given both of their influences and their styles, that they were going to kind of go more so along the lines of the Super J Cup, more so than the indie shit that we see nowadays. And unfortunately, they went with more of the indie shit we see nowadays, and it was bad. It was bad. These girls were sloppy as fuck. The majority of this match was very, very sloppy. Like the tombstone power driver spot that they were doing, and they were both fucking it up. They just, again, they just focused so hard on doing convoluted ass spots, and it was just completely unnecessary. That tombstone spot where they were like reversing each other's tombstones over and over again, and like 2 or 3 times, they kind of botched it a little tiny bit. Like, that was bad. For all of it just to end up with Mercedes giving her a long blower, it's like you could have just reversed out of it the first time, hit the long blower, and it would have been fine. All the other reversals were completely unnecessary, and all it did was leave room for you to fuck up. It was bad. It was stupid. It was stupid. And then you got that powerbomb spot after she did the 3 amigos, and you know, she could barely get her up. Mercedes, that is, before Athena reversed out of it, and then Athena kind of dropped her a little bit when she tried the attempt of the triple powerbomb spot, just for Mercedes to reverse out of it awkwardly into what looked like a knee breaker, but I couldn't really tell you. It was just super awkward, and again, more convoluted bullshit. Then we got this spot. I can't even tell you, like, they did all of this for one spot. That's what I'm saying. They spent the entire match doing multiple upon multiple counters just to end up like doing the move that didn't necessarily need it. Like, you know, like they spent, like, I'm not even lying to you, they spent at least a good minute, a solid 1 minute, just on the apron, just transitioning. Like, just literally transitioning. You got her, Mercedes, attempting a German suplex off the apron, and then she'll get pulled back up, and then Athena would eventually... she tried a German suplex, and then she'll stop, and then she'll try to do a sunset flip powerbomb, and then she'll get caught, and then Athena will pull her back up, and it looks like she's going to go for a crunchy or a dead eye, and then Mercedes will reverse that, and she'll get back up, and then they're like trading shots on the apron, and all of that just to end up with a power slam. Like, Edge did that with one take like a couple of weeks ago on, what was his name, on Wheeler Yuta, right? It was just super unnecessary. And then towards the finish, you got this dumbass spot with the barricade where they're just like trading punches and on the barricade just for them to end up not really doing a barricade spot. It was just very unnecessary. It was all unnecessary fucking spots. And then it ended up with a roll-up, with Mercedes hitting Athena with a roll-up. Again, it was so dumb. It was all so stupid. This was a bad match. I don't know what anyone else is going to say looking at this. These girls were ill-timed. They were sloppy as fuck. The spots that they were doing, going from point A to point B just to end up at point A, were just completely pointless as fuck. It was a dumb match. They focus, and they need to stop this. They focus so hard on trying to do this PWG Shikara circa 2011 fast-paced type of spots, and they're just not good at it. They're not good. It's just they're not good at it, and they keep attempting to do it, and it makes them look bad. It makes them look bad, and this was no different. This was absolutely no different. And by the way, if you're curious, I'm gonna watch the match right now. But the special person is Josh Alexander. I that's the guy from TNA, right? I don't fucking care at all. I don't. I really, really, really don't fucking care. So the mystery guy is someone that I don't give a shit about. Okay, cool. Not to say that I wasn't really expecting not giving a shit, but it's nice to know that it's confirmed that I shouldn't give a shit. But they're about to have a match right now. But yeah, I look at this match, and to say that I'm disappointed is an understatement. Because like I said, I went into this with an open mind. I wanted to see what the girls were going to do. And not to mention, the booking of it was just, in my opinion, and I know the thought process behind wanting to do something like this, because now it's starting to get more clear. I don't think Josh Alexander is going to win this match. If he does, what the fuck is wrong with you? But assuming that no one's going to interfere in the match, if someone interferes, then yeah, Josh Alexander got it, and this would be stupid ass booking. But assuming no one interferes, I'm presuming that Hangman is going to win the match, and it might end up being the finals with Hangman versus Will Ospreay. That's what I'm assuming it's going to be. So maybe they say to themselves, okay, well, we have Hangman and Will Ospreay. We can, afford to give the lesser name valued match on the pay-per-view. The match, in hindsight, ended up being bad between Ember Moon and Sasha. That's just what it is. You may have your own interpretation. I don't know why you would say anything other than it was a bad match. It was very sloppy. But on paper, you would think that this match maybe should have been on the pay-per-view, because the name value is more so than, say, because I'm pretty sure it's going to be Jamie Hayter is going to win the match with Chris Statlander, right? So it's going to probably be Jamie Hayter versus Sasha Banks. I get it. In the end of the day, it's to get to, Sasha versus Toni Storm, which is awesome. Okay, I understand that. But maybe it would have made more sense somehow, some way, to get Sasha versus Amber on the pay-per-view versus the lesser of the match, because the results is still going to be the same. It's going to be Sasha versus Toni at, I'm assuming, the All In show in London. You know what I mean? Like, it's just muddying up the waters for the sake of muddying up the waters. And if the whole thing is like, what's really the point? Because we're going to still have a big time match from the tournament, with it most likely being Will and Hangman, and you're willing to risk that name valued spot in regards to the women, I think that's dumbass booking. Again, especially when the end result is still going to be the same, right? Mercedes is going to win the entire tournament. It's going to be her and Toni Storm. I just think it's malpractice when in regards to the booking, but that's just the story of AEW. But yeah, this match was very dumb. It was very disappointing, and if anybody else tells you anything differently, just go back and watch the match for yourself. Like, 60% of it, maybe even 70% of it, it was just sloppy. Very, very sloppy and very, very bad today's style wrestling, when it should have and could have been much more. I feel like they had better matches when they were on Raw, but I know you're going to get the people, oh, you're being biased towards WWE. No, just subjectively. I seen their matches on Raw. I know what at least Athena is capable of. Just very disappointing match. I wish it was more than what it was. It's like these girls went in here thinking to themselves they had some expectation that they had to fill, which they sort of kind of did. But like, the expectation that they had to fill, I felt like they thought they had to do more than what they really had to do, when they could have just went in there and had a solid technical wrestling type of match, and do solid fast-paced style but basics, and you would have got it over just as well. But instead, they wanted to have that Will Ospreay type of match, and it failed miserably. But that's just my opinion. Continuing on with the show. All right, so coming up, we have this tag team match with the Hurt Syndicate taking on the Gates of Agony. I mean, man, you got the agony part right. Suffering. Let's recap some of this shit, because it's like, again, and it feels like they do this on purpose when they put this in the middle of the card, because I feel like there's a pattern of behavior when I see shit like this. It's like this whole, 2 steps forward, 10 steps back type of booking bullshit. It's like they always do this around the 9 o'clock hour. I don't know if it's on purpose, but look, I'll give you the good first, right? So you had the whole recap with FTR and the whole Tony Schiavone stuff, and again, Nigel McGuinness involved, and how FTR beat the dog shit out of EV 2.0 or 2.0, whatever the fuck their names is, Daddy Mac Daddy, whatever the fuck their names is, and Daniel Garcia, and them beating the shit out. That's good. That's nice. You're getting heat. You're preparing them. Obviously, once again, it's obvious that the end goal to all of this is to get to FTR, Edge, and Christian, which I kind of find, very coincidental that they did both of these segments back to back. I feel like that's a bit of a foreshadowing, if you will, right? Now, granted, both of these segments are separate, but I feel like they did this on purpose when they put them both close together like this, right? So they recapped everything what FTR did last Saturday on Collision. Good heat, nice heat. That's what you're supposed to do. You're building them up. That's solid. Then you had another solid angle, and it was short, but it was sweet and to the point, and it got me more invested into what they're going to do with Christian and Nick Wayne backstage. Nick Wayne talking a bunch of shit about Christian and his leadership skills, not realizing that Christian is standing right there. He's been gone for a minute. Christian standing right there, overheard everything Nick Wayne said, pretty much not challenged him in the sense of challenging him to a fight or a wrestling match, but challenged him in the sense of, how good are you? You claim to be this guy and be this leader, and you talk all this shit when I'm gone. Are you really that guy? Let's put you to the test. You have a pointless TV championship match at ROH or whatever with fucking Commander, you know, win that championship and bring it back. And, you know, when he was patting him on the face to give him support, he ended up slapping him also, which again, that's nice. I want to see more of that. It's pretty clear where this is leading. It's gonna lead to, you know, the patriarchy turning on Christian, right? That's where this is gonna lead to. And eventually it's gonna lead to, I don't know how they're gonna get there, but it's gonna lead to Edge and Christian taking on FTR. And I really, really, really want to see that happen, especially if you keep building up FTR in the way of how you're building them up, right? They're suspended for 1 week without pay. Good shit. Nice shit. And then once again, we get to the matches, because I swear they're just bad at their matches. Their booking structure is just bad. This is really, really, really bad shit. You have all this shit with Josh Alexander, who debuted in AEW, taking on Hangman Adam Page, and it's just lazy booking. It's blatant lazy booking. You do pretty much the same exact match that Mercedes and Athena just had, because that's the only kind of matches you guys can have in the higher upper echelon of talent within that company. You don't know how to have any other style of match. All you guys just know how to have PWG type of fucking matches. They do the exact same shit with Josh Alexander and Hangman Adam Page. Fucking pointless, fucking lame, fucking stupid. And then eventually Hangman ended up winning the match with another roll-up. It's such a man. And they did 2 roll-up finishes back to back. Like, how do you not see that as a problem? Of course you don't when you're a terrible fucking booker. Of course you don't when you have a bunch of producers who just want to fit in with the rest of the crew. It's just fucking lame, bro. And then you try to cover up for it by keeping heat, and which is, I will say this, I will give somewhat credit, because at least you have the common sense. I don't give a shit about Josh Alexander, but as far as, you know, trying to keep him credible, I understand what they were trying to do, you know, get his heat back. You don't want the guy who's debuting to lose his match, even though the losing of the match more so came at the fact that he got caught. But again, you just did that finish the last time, so again, it makes it, you know, it makes it seem less credible as far as booking is considered. But nevertheless, though, they had Josh Alexander immediately turn heel. He comes in the ring after Kyle Fletcher comes out, because that's going to be the next match, Kyle Fletcher versus Hangman Adam Page. And when Kyle Fletcher and Hangman just started to brawl, because sure, I guess, Don Callis was whispering something into Josh Alexander's ear. Josh came in the ring. He attacked Hangman. Started to jump him. I get the reasoning behind this. Like I said, it does make sense. Josh Alexander lost the match. You know, he's angry. You have his fellow Canadian brethren coming in there to talk to him. I get the understanding. And like I said, I'm actually in agreement to the booking. I just don't like that it came because you had another roll-up finish. You know what I mean? It just comes off as lazy fucking booking. The correct booking, but lazy nonetheless. Right? It's like you can have a guy win the match in any other circumstance, and it's the correct way, it's the correct booking that he should have won the match, but the match can still be terrible. Does that make any sense? Like Mercedes and Athena. You know, like, it does make sense that Mercedes wins the match because she needs to win the tournament, because she needs to be the one to go up against Toni Storm, because it's going to be on the biggest pay-per-view in AEW this year. I get it. I understand. It's still a bad match. I get the booking behind Josh Alexander doing what he did. It's still lazy fucking booking nonetheless. And it's like, again, it's 2 steps forward and 10 steps back. That's this company's motto. That's this company's motto. You have some good stuff in regards to the stories being told with FTR and all the shit they did on Saturday. Nice recap again. I had no clue that happened, but good shit. Christian and Nick Wayne, good shit. Even the follow-up with Paige and Hangman and Alexander at least made sense. But the match in itself, you know, the setup for it seemed just super unnecessary. But again, that's just my point of view. I thought that was a better way to do this. But it's AEW, and as long as you can do the match, it doesn't matter what happens afterwards. But it is what it is. Right now, like I said, we have the Hurt Syndicate taking on the Gates of Agony, or the Gays of Agony, or whatever you want to call them. So let's get to that and finish this up. Okay, so who gives a fuck about this Gates of Agony match? Anybody? Anyone? No one? Okay, good. Just making sure. We're all on the same page. No one gives a fuck about the Gates of Agony versus Hurt Syndicate match because you knew who was going to win the match, and who gives a fuck about the Gates of Agony because AEW told me who gives a fuck about the Gates of Agony, and they've been doing it for months, quite possibly years. All right, cool. We're all on the same page. Let's talk about what happened after the match, because that's where the interesting stuff happens, and unfortunately that's the only segment we got all night that was actually interesting. So after the match, you had the Hurt Syndicate celebrating with the retaining of the, I almost called it the WWE, just shows you my mindset right now, with the retaining of the AEW Tag Team Championship belts, and out comes MJF. He comes out. He's now still trying to plead his case as to why he should join the Hurt Syndicate. And he feels like he can sweeten the pot a little bit in order to get them to finally accept him. Again, I've never seen a Jewish person so desperate to be accepted by the Nation of Islam. But here we are today, right? MJF brings out a bunch of lovely, gorgeous, bodacious, or dare I say, boobdacious women. Did y'all see that redhead? Oh, that redhead with the ponytail. Good Google it, Moogle it. Oh, the booty. I'm gooning. I'm gooning. I'm having a gooning session, and no one's invited unless you're a girl. More particularly your mom's. God damn, that girl. I mean, all of them were bad as fuck, but that girl in the red with her hair up in the ponytail. What's her IG? What's her OnlyFans? I know she has an OnlyFans. She better have an OnlyFans. She's gonna get an OnlyFans. I hope she gets an OnlyFans. Sorry, I'm simping right now. I apologize. Don't simp, Devontae. Gooning is illegal in America. Or at least my America. The Gulf of America. Out comes the rest of the ladies, though. They get into the ring, and MJF is pleading his case. And dare I say, if I were any of these men, I would definitely say that he is pleading the right kind of case, right? Shelton Benjamin is he's looking around, and he's starting to be, you know, swayed by Maxwell. He's looking at the women, and I'll just say it like this: he wasn't making eye contact with the women, right? So I think there were two reasons as to why he was starting to be swayed by Maxwell. And MJF also sweetened the pot by giving him his watch, and Shelton took the watch, and he was like, this is a fine and lovely watch. These are fine and lovely women, but I'm still not quite there yet, buddy. Give me a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, and some lube based. And Bobby just wasn't having it at all. MVP thumbs up already. Bobby Lashley wasn't having it. You know, his eyes are glitching out like it's 2K19. He's not feeling it. MJF is making a bunch of jokes at his expense. You know, he's called him a slow learner, and Bobby Lashley chased him. I love how much MJF is a character, though. I like when the women were getting in the ring and he was raising his eyes up like a Looney Tunes cartoon. He's good. MJF is good. I mean, he's a shitty heel because people like him, but he's good as a character. Fucking love MJF, right? As far as him as a character. Actually, hang on. The Hurt Syndicate are back on TV. Let me see what else is going on. God damn, the redhead. Oh, God, I'm gooning. No, Devontae, no gooning. You're a strong-willed man. No gooning. But thick thighs are telling no lies. The thick thighs, boys. The thick thighs. No, I'm focused. I am determined. I am strong-willed. And I am moving on. Okay, give me a second. Gotta go find her IG. Give me a second. No, Devontae. Focus. Review the show, Devontae. You can review the show and then review her IG later on. Someone's gonna post it. I know someone's gonna post it. Focus, Devontae. Focus. Okay? Focus on this content, and you'll get to the other content later. So the Hurt Syndicate were backstage, and MVP was telling Bobby Lashley to chill the fuck out. Do you see the asses over there? Turn around, Bobby. Look at the ass. Okay, look at the ass. That's what he gave us. We can be given these things more often if you just chill the fuck out, because you're angry, okay? Your nougat fucking filled head is angry right now. And it's making your brain not understand the things that are around you. Use your eyes, okay, Bobby? Look around 360. This is what this man is willing to give us. Can we just accept it and deal with him on a business level. You know, business. Hurt Syndicate. Business. You get it? Okay? You get it? Understand? That's what we used to be called, the Hurt Business. And now we're called the Hurt Syndicate. Do business, Bobby, and let us put our penises into these women. And Bobby's like, okay, you're right. Okay, women, come on. I'm going to put my penis inside you. And that's just the way to think. That is exactly the way to think, Bobby. Put penises inside women and get gold and get money. You understand it. You get it. Good job, Bobby. Like I said, overall, solid segment. I loved it. I want to see more of this. I like shit like this. This is what gets you to relate to the characters on television. Not the dumb fucking matches like we're about to get right now with Will Asprey and fucking Goku over here. No. Character development. Television. Booty. That's what we want to see. More of that. So when they actually have their match, it would mean something. Quite frankly, I would personally be fine if they don't have a tag team championship match at what's the next show? Double or Nothing. They don't have to have a tag team championship match. Have Shelton and MVP in Bobby Lashley's corner. If Bobby Lashley beats MJF, he stops bothering him. If MJF wins, he gets into the Hurt Syndicate. It's as simple as that. You can do that. That's the match that you need to go towards. Bobby Lashley versus MJF. MJF wins, he gets in the Hurt Syndicate. MJF loses, he fucks off. Simple. And you're getting me to want to watch this match more and more and more with the antics you're pulling every single week. Hopefully this leads to MJF getting the World Heavyweight Championship and, you know, you get that belt away from the Dick Riders. Which, by the way, World Heavyweight Champion, haven't seen him none tonight. He's in the main event. Do you give a fuck? Do I give a fuck? Let's see. No, I check out. I know I don't give a fuck. And I'm not looking into my crystal ball right now, and maybe I can see you inside your house if you peel back the curtains, but I can tell you also don't give a fuck. So, we see how that's going right now as far as that reign. Let's move towards more of the Hurt Syndicate and MJF and get away from the Dick Riders. Are we all in agreement? Okay, we're all in agreement. Good. So let's continue on with the show. Will Asprey, Yokoshuka Maka 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 Laka Naka Maka Saka Kameawe, getting it on. Let's go. I'm either gonna yell and scream at this point. You're probably seeing the timestamp and you're thinking automatically that I'm gonna start screaming and yelling and shit like that. No, folks, there's no yelling and screaming. It's come to be expected at this point. At what point does this become just like outright fucking ridiculous though? Like at what point do you sit back and you say to yourself that like you've been seeing I'm trying to get through some people, man, but I guess it just doesn't matter. This is literally the match that we just seen right here. This is the match that Athena and Mercedes, they keep trying to stride to be what superstars are striding to be, and it's some of the worst psychology I've ever seen in wrestling. And they use this lack of psychology and all this garbage bullshit wrestling in order to have an excuse to not go out of their way to develop and have relatable fucking characters. Because that should be the entire program, right? The developing of actual compelling characters, so when you have a match, it actually fucking matters. We just got finished saying this already with the whole MJF segment with Bobby Lashley, which in my opinion, that's what's going to be remembered mostly, right? That's what's going to be remembered mostly. And then you get a match like Konosuke Takeshita and Will Ospreay, and it does a number of negative factors. One, the booking, like, let's just hypothetically say, right? Not even hypothetically, because I know a lot of people are going to cream their pants over this fucking match, right? Even if you liked the match, even if you thought this was the best match of all time, after the last best match of all time, that's another problem. You can't even distinguish which ones happen to be the most important, because these guys, they just go out there and they do these type of matches and they completely and utterly ruin any importance in regards to how these matches and the structure of these matches should be compelling in regards to, say for an example, what actually stands out more, because you do this shit so fucking often. Even if you like this match, don't you think from a booking standpoint this should have main evented? Don't you? At the very least, should have been an opener. So you have this match, and then you're going to close the show out with the Dick Riders, knowing that it's going to be terrible. Is that really? That's the booking flow. That's your booking flow, right? Even if you like the match. Now, for me, going into this match, it's a semifinals match on television. I don't give a shit about it because all they do is have tournaments. And here you are, throwing out another 8-star caliber match. Gooning! More gooning from Dave Meltzer. I goon over women. Meltzer goons over power drivers that have front flips inside them. And they go out there, and it's the match that never ends. You know, you kill your finishers, you do the hidden blade, kicks out at 1, gets back up, no sells it. Stupid shit. Just kicking out. I don't even understand anymore the psychology. It's literally just pop the audience with kickouts of finishers and no sells and strong style. Oh, strong style. That's it's again, the lack of psychology is so noticeable. It's insane. They're not even trying anymore. They're not even trying. They're not even trying. It's literally go out there, pop the crowd with kicking out of finishers, pop the crowd with what Shawn Michaels and Undertaker took about 20 years to develop in regards to their character to get to a point where this type of match actually needs it, and they just do it in a semifinals tournament. Not even the main event, the semifinals tournament. And the sad part about it, again, people are going to cream their pants. Top 10 Dynamite match of all time versus the other matches that were top 10 at first that are probably now not even in the top 50 because you do these things so fucking often. It's lame. It's lame. Nothing stands out anymore. Nothing stands out. The importance of the actual match in itself no longer stands out. It's just do shit for the sake of doing shit because you can. Because you can. And you raise a generation of morons, like, for an example, a Mercedes and an Athena, who think they can do what a Will Ospreay can do, which is terrible as is, to go out there and bumblefuck their way. Look at this shit, bro. We're going to end the night with this dumb shit. Jon Moxley, the World Heavyweight Champion, walking out on the street. He's making his way into the arena. Why is he outside? I don't fucking know. I don't know. Because, oh, look at that. And the Dick Riders, they happen to be already in the building, folks. They're already in the building. So, like, were they just standing there the entire night waiting for Jon Moxley? Or did they just enter it first and then Jon came in afterwards? This is so stupid. This is so stupid. I mean, I guess in hindsight, maybe it's one of those things where it's like, well, Devontae, you got your wish, right? The World Heavyweight Champion is going to main event. I just wish it was actually a good World Champion, and I wish it was people that I actually gave a shit about. But for anything else, optically, at least it's the World Champion Mania. I'm trying to make the best out of a bad situation, folks. You get the same type of bullshit over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, and you're supposed to be compelled to it because they flip and they kick out of finishers, and therefore that's wrestling. It's so tiresome. I don't even have the energy to go even further talking about this shit. If you like it, good on you. I sometimes I just give up when I just give up. I just give up. Fuck it. Like it and like it. I don't care. Let's get to the main event and get this shit over with. You know they only did that celebration just to, you know, fit the narrative of them actually surpassing WCW, right? There's literally no reason to have a celebration in the end of the show. What are they celebrating? The fuck are they celebrating? What have the Dick Riders done to them? Like, oh, we took the Trios Championship and Jon Moxley still has the World Championship. What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't, like I said, that was literally done just to put into video packages to celebrate Spring Breaking being them surpassing WCW. You know that, right? You know that, right? This is so the match in itself, who fucking cares, right? Some of the spots that were notable, not the actual match in itself, but the actual actions done in itself, right? The cutscenes, if you will. The Young Fucks come out to interfere in the match. They grab a chair. I think it was Matt Jackson to grab a chair. And in the process, Swerve Strickland, I was wondering where the fuck he was at throughout the night. He was in the crowd. He jumped on the barricade and he ended up hitting the Young Fucks with two simultaneous swerve stumps, right? While that's going on, you have the wrestler, grapple. I grapple you with my grapples. He ended up taking out Cesaro, hit him with a sleeper and a PK kick, and then put him in another sleeper. In the process, you have Wheeler Yuta. He tried to do a suicide dive on Will Hobbs, who took the place of Hook because he legitimately got hurt last week and he was throwing up in the ring and shit. Dude most likely has a concussion. Wish him the best. Who also, by the way, Jon Moxley filled the shoes of Neville Pac because he got taken out last week also. I don't remember his injury, but he was out too. So you had Wheeler Yuta hit a suicide dive on Will Hobbs. He caught him, ended up hitting a Uranagi on top of the announcement table. And then it came down to Moxley and Samoa Joe in the middle of the ring. Joe locked in the coquina clutch, and Moxley immediately went to sleep, which, okay, I guess they're short on time, right? It's not as if they have a fucking overrun that lasted 15 fucking minutes, but it is what it is. They win the match. Everybody's in the ring. They're celebrating that they won the championships, the Trios Championship. You had a moment with Samoa Joe giving Will Hobbs the Trios Championship gold. And then you have the rest of the AEW locker room, led by Will Ospreay, coming into the ring with champagne bottles, spraying it everywhere with them celebrating. And it's like, maybe, and this is what I mean when I say they focus so much on the matches. They could have made this work. This could have worked. If they would have started off the night with a storyline that developed throughout the night, giving segments, just fucking 30-second segments, right? Started off with a promo with the Dick Riders talking all their rambling bullshit, and then have, Samoa Joe come out, talk shit to himself, put some stipulations in the end of the match to make it seem more significant, and then you build it up throughout the night. This could have worked. You could have done this in one episode. We got no build throughout the entire night for the main event. No build whatsoever. Realistically, the Dick Riders haven't done anything that harsh to make you believe that there should be a celebration. Nothing at all. Nothing. We got no... I don't even remember a match card. Maybe a match card in the corner of the screen. Maybe they gave one in the beginning of the night after the initial intro. But I don't remember anything in regards to building up to the main event. It just happened. They advertised it and then it happened with no build throughout the entire night. And they're celebrating. It's so dumb. It's so forced. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? And then they have the moment with Will Hobbs. Dude, we didn't even know he was in the fucking match. And then they're having this moment with Joe, looking at the championship belt, looking at Will Hobbs. You deserve this, kid. Nigga, I didn't even know he was in the fucking match. Deserve what? What did he do? Did he campaign to be in that spot? It's nonsensical. Like I said, they just do shit for the sake of doing shit. No rhyme, no reason. It looks cool, it feels cool, so fucking do it. And to make matters much worse, we all know what this is building up to, which just sickens me. It fucking sickens me at the thought of what this is building up to. You boys ready? You boys ready? It's gonna be the Dick Riders. It's gonna be the Dick Riders. You might even get the Young Fucks involved. Taking on Joe. I guess I'm not sure if Hook's gonna make it in time, so I'm gonna say it's gonna be Joe. It's gonna be Will Hobbs. It's gonna be the wrestler. Wrestle. Swerve Strickland, and I don't know, maybe one more person that's slipping my mind at the moment that I can't think of. Because Will's gonna be in the tournament. It's gonna be him, and most likely, I'm gonna presume it's gonna be him. And what's Buddy's name again? Hangman Adam Page. So I can't think of the fifth person who's gonna be in the match. Although, nah, they're not gonna do that. That'd be dumb as fuck. I was gonna say, are they gonna do something where they're gonna include the first ever intergender? They might do some dumb shit like that now that I think about it. You might actually get some dumb shit like that, where it might end up being Swerve Strickland, the Ops. If Hook makes it in time, it might be him, but I highly doubt it. But it's probably gonna be Swerve Strickland, the Ops, one more random person, and it would not shock me if they put Willow Nightingale in this match, and they put Marina Shafir with the Young Bucks and the Death Riders, and they have the first ever intergender arena Anarchy in the Arena match. And then obviously they're going to follow this up later on by having the stupid ass blood and guts match, which I'm going to presume is going to be a little bit earlier, considering July is going to be the show for All In. So I'm going to assume that they're going to want to do that match a little bit earlier, probably in June most likely, maybe in May. They might want to get it out the way before they actually get directly into Double or Nothing's in May. They're going to want to do this. No, they're probably going to do this in June, maybe late May. We'll see, but I can only think of the stupid ass spots they're gonna do at a match. You have Swerve Strickland, Jon Moxley, and the Young Bucks in an Anarchy in the Arena match. I know the fuckery is gonna be crazy in that match. They're gonna do some of the worst fucking. I would not be surprised if they pull out a knife or a gun. I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't shock me if they pull out some actual legitimate fucking weapon. I mean, because where else can you go from stabbing someone in the fucking jaw with a needle, right? Where else can you go from taking a spike bat to the back? I can only shudder at the thought of what the fuck they're gonna do in that stupid ass match. But that's in a couple of weeks. We'll get there when we get there. Tomorrow, I am off from work. I see that they're gonna have the second part of Spring Break. Might as well do a review on it also. So I'll be back tomorrow. I will be doing another review, a special review on a Thursday. I never do these things. I will be reviewing Collision tomorrow, so prepare yourselves for that. And this show, man, every week the fuckery gets way worse and way worse and way worse. But give you guys a break and talk amongst each other in the comment section. As always, my name is Devontae, aka Millennial Smart, and I'll be catching you guys later. Deuces, P. Ice.